This is another 419 Grind exclusive. You're listening to the 419 Grind Podcast, Toledo's source for exclusive news in music, business, sports, and entertainment.
Welcome to the 419 Grind Podcast. I am Shan Digg. I am your host for this evening and a bunch of other evenings. But today, in particular, this is a special day. We have my personal favorite singer, one of my favorite. She's my personal favorite singer. I ain't saying this because of camera on. She know how I feel. My unofficial best friend, who's my best friend. Yeah, man. I'm starting off with the hitters, with the GOATs. I had Tracy. Now I got Tiffanie Campbell.
Government, though.
Oh, sorry. The third. Yes. Don't get to telling nobody my middle name on here.
All right, Daryl.
Yes.
Daryl.
I'm so upset.
Hello, everyone.
And Tiffanie, we gonna talk. Hey, it's some stuff about her that y'all don't know. We will be diving into today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't tell me that part.
Well, that's why I didn't want to talk to you and give you no warnings, no heads up about anything. But we really wanna talk about the music and the projects. I pretty much know a lot of the story. It's gonna be stuff that's gonna come out that I don't know. So we're gonna start from what most people know you from, and that's singing and music and being tremendously amazing and talented. How old were you when you first started singing, Tiffanie?
Ooh, sheesh. Singing, probably about 4. Singing, lead singing, 6. Like leading with the adult choir, that type of thing. 6.
Not with the kids choir. Y'all see her? She just skipped the whole step.
I did the junior choir because my grandmother was over it, but I went right from that to the adult choir because my mom was over it.
Yeah, they said, yeah, she got it. She sing all day at home.
Yeah, I didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah. We didn't have choices back in the day.
At all.
Yo, I said the same thing. I said my first solo was with Sasha. It's funny, we all still together.
Absolutely.
That is crazy.
Absolutely.
My first one was like probably 7 and she was 5. So yeah, so 6. Were you scared?
Surprisingly, no.
I ain't surprised.
Wait, what is that supposed to mean? The shade.
It's no shade. It's the greatness. Like you know how we talk, man. They gotta be in you and not on you. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was just, I don't know. I think because I grew up around it with my dad being in music and my mom being in music and being over the music department, I think it was just kind of like stage fright wasn't even an option. It was kind of just like, get out there. And the crazy thing about it is the first song that I led with the choir, I chose the song. And it was like a song that somebody from the motherboard was singing.
What was it? What was the song?
Get Your House in Order from Dottie Peoples. And it was an a cappella song. All it had was a kick drum.
And some stumps.
And some stumps. And some doo-wops behind me with the choir. And that's what I wanted to sing. And so she allowed me to sing it.
So after that experience, did you know right away what you wanted to do? Is there anything else in life that you wanted to do other than sing?
As far as church, I wanted to be an usher. I never wanted to sing.
Well, not forget church, just in life. I mean, I know that.
No, because people think that's funny that I say that. Like, singing was the last thing in church on the totem pole. Like, I wanted to be an usher. And that's because I wanted to walk up to somebody and give them some tissue and say, spit your gum out.
So you literally wanted to take a job so you can be rude. Who wants a job so I can? Hold on. This is an opportunity for me to be rude to you.
Me, because I've always been a boss. I thought I was a boss, so I wanted to run it. Period.
Nothing has changed.
Period.
Nothing has changed.
But in life, I wanted to be, my first option outside of singing was fashion. I've always been plus size.
Again, nothing has changed.
Right. But I love fashion. I love clothing. I want my own clothing line. I love makeup. I love hair. I love it all. And so that's what I wanted to do initially. But God said otherwise.
Well, your hair is nice. You did your hair today.
Thank you.
You did your makeup today.
Thank you.
And I personally know, would you like to talk about the clothing line?
Eventually it's going to come. And I think what I'm going to do is tag a song that my brother penned that is actually on the album, and we're getting ready to premiere the video shortly.
Boom, boom. Hold on, we're going to take a pause. We ain't going to just act like that didn't happen. We're going to put our hands together right there. Now, is this your first video?
It actually is. This is my first concept video.
That is fire. That is fire.
So it's something different, but again, it's not like it was anything unusual because we actually shot it as if we were live on stage. Mm-hmm. And so it just came natural.
Okay, so we're going to backtrack because people don't know the story. Okay, so 6, start singing at 6, mm-hmm. So how old were you when you started directing? Hey, see, I be knowing y'all, but y'all don't be understanding. I be having to tell y'all, ask these questions because they be crazy.
Teaching? Teaching music? Gosh, probably 10.
10 years old.
And I could teach all 3 parts.
Let me tell y'all, let me look in this camera and tell y'all how our parents is, bruh. I was 10 and she was 10. Like, we didn't really have a choice. This was crazy. My dad was on the road. He called he doing this, make him teach.
Yep, absolutely.
Like what? I didn't even know if you knew I was at church.
Well, but I didn't have a choice about church. I say all the time, I have 5. It's 5 of us. And I just feel like my mom and my dad was more strict on me and my brother about attending church. And the other ones just was like, they could pick and choose when they wanted to go. But I guess they saw something special. No shade to my other siblings, but they know music, but they're really not into music that.
Yeah.
And so I guess they just saw the gift and they felt like they needed to enhance the gift and, push us to do greatness and great things.
And now that you're older, it make more sense, don't it? Because now if you look at my siblings, I literally was the only one that they made go to church. Mm-hmm. Maybe Alicia at a stretch. But to go to church, I was the only one they made go to church. It must just be something they see when we kids. So we at 10 years old, mm-hmm. you already teaching. And did it irritate you? Did you just say, oh, well, this is just the norm? How did you transition into teaching music?
Watching my mother. My mother.
The GOAT.
My mother was the minister of music for 20 plus years at mm-hmm. my home church, Los Salem. And so, again, when she was listening to music, dissecting parts to teach to the choir, I was there. So a lot of times she would tell me to sing this particular part, and then she would sing another part, and bam, that's how we had, the music or whatever. So really she taught me and she trained my ear to listen for parts, but at the same time it came natural. So I feel like, again, she just enhanced the gift, and she saw the gift and just said, okay, I'm going to. So in
other words, you were spoiled. Anyway.
Okay.
You were spoiled. You were spoiling gifts in your gifting. It happens to the best of us. But I've been around, for the record, y'all, I've been around Tiffanie. I think I met Tiff. We met as kids. And then I remember seeing her again at like
Shannon
10
was a
or
big
11.
Bully. Shannon was a bully.
What? When? We're not talking about junior high. We ain't there yet.
Oh, okay. So, you talking about before then when you was quiet and shy?
Yeah, all I did is play football and go to church. That's literally it.
Okay, I'll give you that. Whatever.
And so I met Tiff then. I knew her, and then it's like I ain't see her for 2 years, and then we went to a school and what my personal favorite school of all time, which is Robinson Junior High School.
Period.
Wildcats. I love Scott, but I personally think that Robinson was a better school.
Period.
That's the best school, especially in our era. That was the best school that was in Toledo, private, because we had a amazing honors system. Mm-hmm. We had then the next step, okay, everybody came in
music.
Yeah. Whoa. So I'm glad we in junior high, because this is what happened. Now the Juice had. Now we really telling our age. The Juice just came out. I will never forget this. I had to sing that day. Had to sing. I think it was the Black National Anthem. But Tiffanie had to sing
the
national anthem. People don't even know I sang the Black National Anthem when Tiffanie was done. I've never seen a crew of professionals act like that. You are grown-ups. You are adults. When Tiffanie was done singing, them folk at the Juice was going crazy. I mean, they were going crazy. The school was going crazy.
Man, those were the days.
Man, listen.
Oh, my gosh.
We really had, we met some of our best friends in the world to this day at Robinson. If Robinson back in them days would have went to 12, I would have never left. I would have never left Robinson.
Absolutely not. They had the best teachers. They had, it was an amazing experience.
So for those who went to Robinson, y'all know who we're talking about, especially in our class. Who was your favorite teacher?
I'm going to have to go with Mr. Jameson.
Mr. Jameson.
But I'm also have to go with Miss Biddlestone because she was my choir teacher. And she's another one who pushed me to become what I am in music. She wouldn't let me stay in the background.
Yeah, she didn't. She was big on bloodlines. Remember that?
I don't know if you remember this, but in junior high, you only led a song if you were in 8th grade for whatever reason. I don't know what that was about.
There's Tiffanie again.
But you only led a song if you were in 8th grade. I don't know how it got out that I sang or that I was a singer. I can't even remember. But some kind of way, I remember, what was her name? I can't think of her name. I think it was Shana Hampton. She was missing for whatever reason. Shana. And she led this song called It's Raining by Kurt Franklin. And
I'll never forget it.
I cannot understand for the life of me how the song got put in my lap. And from that point on, it was like Miss Biddlestone was like,
she was on you.
Just whatever.
You know what? You said if I remember, I do remember. I actually remember it distinctly because they remember how we need someone to be able to sing with power. Or is it any power singers? That's exactly what she said. And somebody ended up snitching. I just can't remember who it was.
I don't either.
If somebody it might have been Precious or something. I think it might have been Precious Kid, bro.
I just don't even remember.
It might be Precious, bro. It's like somebody who I know regularly. But it was crazy. So you really been on it. And now that we in junior high, she called me a bully. But one thing she didn't say is, I didn't bully her. Anybody who had anything to say about my Tiffanie, I was on them. I stayed. I never got a B until I got to Robinson. Well, but I still had a 3.8. But the times I got suspended,
bully me either. So
times I got suspended twice for you. What are you talking about?
I mean, that was my choice, though. Don't put that on me.
No, it was. I wasn't about to have nobody talking to you like they were stupid. Because I can get dumb with you.
No, but junior high was, I tell anybody, was one of the peaks in my decision-making to become a singer. Going back to the national anthem. That's when I decided this is what I want to do for a living. Was Robinson.
Really?
I promise you. Robinson Junior High made it official that Tiffanie was going to be a singer. By that time, I was in, not 7th grade, I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, we was in 8th grade.
And that's because I got a kick out of singing the national anthem for every game. I don't care if it was a football game. I don't care what it was. Every game, I sang the national anthem. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest secrets that people really don't know when they talk about music. The national anthem is my favorite song to sing.
Well, I told you I would learn something today.
That's my
I
favorite
learned that today.
song to sing. One, because I feel like with all of the changes, vocally it's challenging because you sing most of the time without music. And I just felt like when I saw Marvin Gaye and Whitney Houston do their version, I don't care what anyone says.
Hold on, that boy Marvin, though.
Marvin Gaye and Whitney Houston had the best national anthem. Argue with me and we gonna fight.
No, we can't argue that.
Period. I don't care. Don't call off nobody else. Marvin Gaye and Whitney Houston had the best. And so that's what I felt like I was trying to establish.
Here's another fun fact. Shout out to Brian Rogers. Remember he came out. Remember Scott Choir, for whatever reason, they were there that day at Robinson. They were singing. I don't remember what song they were singing. And all we seen, because for whatever, we were sitting together, and we just seen Brian come from behind the curtain. Straight to church. Like, hold on, weren't you a Crip?
Not Crip, though. And he a whole pastor now.
You remember that? Remember how he came from the side with the mic already in his head? The same stuff he's doing right now.
Period. So that's why I'm saying nothing. I mean, I
That
don't feel like
is
it has
crazy.
really changed. We grew up, we matured.
Yeah.
Took a lot from it. Like, those are learning experiences.
So I wanna shift. So in Robinson, especially when we were young, our conversations was dope back then. But I'm just gonna bring up our convos, even as kids and as babies. You had so much this is how you inspire me. You never let nobody see you sweat. You'll tell me that you sweat, but the public,
absolutely.
Like, they would never know that you had, and nobody would know unless you told them that you were like lacking in confidence or depressed or sad ever.
And
I used to wear
struggled with
everything.
all of that.
I know. Well, of course I know, but I struggle with, because I wear everything on my sleeve. Whatever I felt, they knew.
Absolutely. You couldn't hide it.
Yeah, I just couldn't hide it. But you, a person who struggled with that, what developed that strength at such a young age?
Music. Music is and to this day, music is my outlet. I always say, if you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that, you'll see that when I post pictures of me behind the microphone on stage, I always refer to it as my happy place. Music is where I am most happy. And I say all the time, because I'm not married yet, but I'll know the man for me when he could put the same smile that me being on stage puts on my face.
First of all, can we get a hand clap for the bars? I hear you with the bars.
Like, and I'm so serious.
You're putting a lot of pressure on dudes because you've been singing for your whole life. That's a place. That's actually very legitimate, because that's a place that you have to kind of replace or match.
Absolutely. And so I feel like anyone that comes in my life, you will not take from it, you'll add to it. So because I am that in love with music, like, I feel like you have to grasp my attention that much for me to say, okay, now it's time for me to balance my love life and music.
So speaking of,
you come in my life and I feel like music trumps you, I'm sorry. And I'm about to use slang. You ain't the one.
You ain't the one or the two.
Like, that's because that I sincerely love, and that's going back to our conversation. That's what gets me through those rough times. That's what gets me through the sad times, the lonely times. It's like I always resort to music because it is my outlet. With this whole COVID-19 situation or whatever, I am blessed to have been one of the artists that. Now, I had surgery in February. So
Shout out to that.
So I stopped moving probably from February and singing until maybe the end of April, the beginning of May. But from then on out, And I said when I came back, I said I was coming for blood, not in an arrogant way, but because I had been through so much.
Yes, indeed.
And I had so much downtime, I was ready to hit the stage. And so from
And
May,
you got to practice.
Period.
Yeah. Put some new stuff in the back pocket, dog. I know I have.
From May until now, I have been blessed to kind of still travel a little here and there and sing here and there and be featured on different things. And I often say, like, what would I have done if I was one of the ones that were shut down completely? No one was calling or seeking after.
Listen.
Like, and yes, I'm a worship leader at church, so I'm still doing that even in the midst of the pandemic. But again, me traveling and singing, meeting different people, reaching different people, that is my outlet. That's what heals me.
Yeah.
That's what mends my brokenness, to be able to see me heal somebody else's brokenness through song. So it's just like, whatever your dreams are, your aspirations, whatever it is, like, you have to reach and dig in that bag for, to battle the depression, because we go through a lot. Especially, and I'm not trying to be super deep, but especially when you have a great anointing on your life, we
facts.
Go through more than anybody.
Man, listen,
we
feel
get
like it's always you.
Yes, period.
It'd be like, why is it always me?
Period.
Yeah.
I just asked that question probably 2 weeks ago. Like, I had a shouting match with God. Like, I'm just being real. Like, why me?
You ever cuss at God?
I am pleading the fifth.
I'm not. I do.
Is he allowed to ask that?
I can ask what I want. This is my show.
He's hosting the show, so yeah.
That's so. Let's say this. I'm that real.
Yeah.
I'm that transparent.
Yep.
Now you can't let your hair down in front of everybody, but with me and God, I have that relationship with Him. And sometimes it's just, you get to that point where it's like, how much more can I take, or how much stronger do you want me to be?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you keep trying to see how strong I am. I'm like,
what's the deal? You ever had to ask God, what's the deal? Yo, I got a great question for you.
All right.
What did you fall in love with first, music or God?
Music.
That's a real thing.
And
Thank you.
I'm being real. Music.
Y'all hear that?
Music.
This honest space. Music. Because that's what we realized what we had first.
And
we didn't know God yet.
Listen, the same way He knew us before He formed us in our mother's womb is the same way we knew primarily what we wanted to do from children on up.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was, I didn't know if I was going to be a producer, if I was going to be a musician. I just knew that music is what intrigued me at a young age. And so let's just be honest. You got a lot of people that's out here singing that don't even know God, and they're singing in church.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I was just singing because that's what I saw to do. A lot of stuff that I did on stage is what I mimicked from my parents, my grandmother, and my dad. So it took me to actually develop a relationship with God to really live what I sing about. And then it became my personal testimony. And then I became my own artist. I became my own person on stage.
And now we about to transition into that. Because now let's move from junior high to high school. I'm going to walk y'all down. So I think we both was in choir. I think you made me get in choir freshman year when I was making my schedule.
James Crumley.
Yeah, I think you made me like, I know you want to play football, but you can't in choir with me. You know, I'm not about to be the only one in there. So we was in choir. We both had Mr. Crumley. We both kind of played the back there, just sang.
Yeah, backseat.
Yeah, just sang.
Until coordination.
Yeah.
I played it safe until homecoming, freshman year coordination. Again, I don't know who told Mr. Crumley I can sing. I want to say it might have been, because at that time, Fia, Mimi, all of them were there.
Yes.
So with me hanging with them, I think it was kind of just Alexis Haynes, Haynes, Brian, them. They were still involved with Mr. Crumley.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was more so them pushing me to do it, because I still don't know to this day how he knew I could sing. And I want to say I sang a song by Richard Smallwood at coordination. And I'm getting into high school. I want to say I sang a song by Richard Smallwood. I don't know. It might have been. But after that, we was at homecoming coordination, and they, did the king and queen or whatever. Afterwards, what is his name? Dr. Sanders, Eugene Sanders, I believe, at the time was the superintendent. He walked up to me after coordination with tears in his eyes. And I want to say, even in the midst of coordination, he offered me a full ride scholarship to Bowling Green University, music department. No room, no boarding, no nothing.
Whoa. See, again, I'm going to take a drink. Ain't nothing in here but juice.
And I promise you, as sure as my name is Tiffanie Campbell.
No, you're not going to just gloss by that. And I've been knowing you all this time. I never knew that. Lucky I didn't know, because I would have been on you.
He got on the mic after I was done, or after it was over, and he said something about the young lady that sang, and he got my name or whatever, and he said to me, I want to offer you a full ride scholarship to Bowling Green University. Everything paid for their music department.
What?
That's how much
happened?
He believed and saw my gift. That's why I really don't talk about the high school years, because if I could go back, okay, let's say this. We learn from our mistakes. So I'm thankful for the mistakes that I made, because it made me the woman that I am today. I'll say that. But at the same time, if I can go back and change some things, I would, because my high school years was the years I fell off, and I call them my ratchet years. That's the year.
Nah. I know you're in your grown years, so.
See, that's because, again, that's part of me that I didn't allow people to see, because I felt like if they did, they wouldn't say that they would say that I wasn't anointed, or
wasn't saved.
I wasn't saved, and I was going to hell. Not that I was out here just doing any and everything, because I was still in church, so I still was very modest. But at the same time, it was more like I would come to school and go to school when I got ready. I would walk in if I didn't feel like being there. Me and my homegirls would skip, and we would be at the mall, eating or doing whatever.
Okay, well, I knew that.
So that's why I say, like,
I was gonna say, no. Well, what were you doing, Tiffany?
To me, that's my rebellious side. Man,
look,
because
the person
I just didn't care.
Here's this name again, Brian Rogers. He's a pastor now, but guess where we skipped at? Right there, because he graduated.
Absolutely,
he graduated when the year we was coming in. So he was at home chilling. Mm-hmm. Guess where we was? Over there chilling, ruining ourselves.
At the time, I didn't know that would eventually, my record would cause me I don't care how much they give you a full ride, if your grades don't match it, or if your attendance don't match it, you're not getting in.
Proficiency test, I passed. Me and Andre Smith got them scholarships. I lost mine the first semester. He went to Ohio State.
And that's the thing. It wasn't because I didn't know the educational stuff.
Yeah, we both had. By the way, guys, we both had honors. We're gonna clap up for that.
Yes, I'm very intelligent. Passed all my proficiency in 8th grade, so I didn't have to worry about it in high school. However, it was just
put us on the stage.
It was a lot. It was some personal issues that I was dealing with at home as well.
Yeah.
Especially in my senior year,
Yeah.
So it was just like I chose to. I'm always about the bag. I have to be honest. I'm always about my bag. So I chose to work more than I went to school. And honestly, they probably shouldn't even allow that to happen.
Yeah, but it was a different time. Like when we was coming up, it was a different time. You got to remember. Here's something that you might not remember. I'm gonna see if you remember. I worked at the sports arena, and I'm talking about me and you click tight, because at that time, like I was tight with Brian. Mm-hmm. And when we got to Robinson, me and you, for whatever reason at that time, we was just click tight. Remember when I used to work at the sports arena? Shout out to the sports arena. And we used to be busting them for like $300 a night. He used to be pointing to the lunch table like I'm buying everybody lunch. Tiffany pulled me to the side like, you're not buying everybody no lunch.
It's just, hey.
Those was the days that developed us. And like, I'm not much different. I'm still about a bag. You still about a bag.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about because it's so much to unpack. Let's go right to Scott. It may be junior year. It might have been even sophomore year. Sophomore or junior year. No, it was our sophomore year. Sophomore year, Mayfest. That is when, because Mayfest, for those who don't know, was a Scott event, big event.
Was that the year we were with Eric Dixon, Mr.
Yes,
Okay.
we had Mr. Dixon.
Okay.
And I was screwing off everybody who I was close with, just about male wise, who wasn't saved. All was getting kicked out. My brother dropped out. My cousins, 2 of my cousins got expelled. A bunch of my friends I was close with who wasn't football players, they all stopped going to school. And so I really struggled my sophomore year, so I didn't do nothing. Like, I remember getting out of boys ensemble and everything. Oh, but Mayfest comes around.
Yes.
What happened at that Mayfest? That is a legendary Mayfest. I think we
it
were a part of.
absolutely was.
We were a part of 2 legendary Mayfests. But go ahead, talk about the first one.
That one, again, for me was a highlight in music, and that's because, not saying Mr. Crumley didn't challenge us, but Mr. Crumley knew that I was a church girl too. So a lot of times he made me stick to what was my comfort zone. But I will say, when Mr. Dixon, Eric Dixon, the son came in.
Shout out to E. Dixon.
He told us, like, and I'm not going to say he wasn't in church or whatever, but he told us, like, okay, it's not just going to be gospel music, whatever. We're going to explore all types of music.
Yep.
And I really believe that is what opened me up to, I love all types of music. Like, I am not just stuck to traditional gospel, all of that. I love, Brandy is my favorite.
So I was just about to say, so what album came out our sophomore year that changed everything?
Was it Full Moon?
Full Moon came out.
I want to say Full Moon.
Full
but
Moon
I'm
came
tell
out.
You, it was, for me,
And Tweet.
I'm about to say, for me, it was
Full Moon and Tweet came out.
It was a tight race because I am a Tweet diehard fan. Tweet is, as far as like feel and type of music and all of that, Tweet trumps everything because
So
she's
y'all-
from Quartet.
Y'all hear this? This is so for those who don't know. Yes, she's a Brandy fiend, but Tweet.
Tweet trumps everything.
So I'm telling y'all now. I know this because I work with her. I be with her. Look. People be arguing with me like our relationship like not like super close. I'm like, I'm trying to tell y'all that yes, she gonna recognize Brandy as a better singer. But when it comes to how she even approached Quartet singing live like Tweet to this day.
And I was going to
telling
say,
people that all the time.
Brandy is the GOAT. Brandy is my favorite vocalist. But as far as approach to music, I identify more with Tweet because her feel and her style comes from Quartet being the root of who she is.
Yeah.
Quartet is the root of who I am.
And that's
she
the
just
same with
took
me
it
for
and
D'Angelo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember how
Absolutely.
you got me hip to Tweet. I think we got each other hip to, well, you was like, you got to hear that Brandon. I'm like, I already got it. But Tweet, I didn't know nothing about. But that D'Angelo album, that second one, I gave it to you. She was like, is he Quartet? I said, yeah. I said, his brother. And then we both found out Raphael Sadiq and him was like brothers. And then we found out about Spank. Like, all of this stuff literally happens from sophomore to junior year.
Absolutely. And it, again, going back to Mayfest, we did a Motown review.
Yes.
And so
Crazy.
I remember he had the boys ensemble, Marcus Shockley. And Marcus had this Marvin Gaye feel to him, his voice,
Yeah.
David Ruffin. And I told him, I said, he has to do My Girl.
Got to.
He got to do My Girl. There's no
it changed
other way.
everything when he did it, too.
And it definitely did. And they blazed that. Girls Ensemble did Tweet, Beautiful.
No, y'all didn't.
Yes, we did.
Not that year.
Yes,
that
we
was
did.
our senior year.
Was that our senior
That was
year?
our senior year.
Mr. Dixon wasn't there our senior year, though.
No, he was not.
Oh, it was Miss Crawford.
It was Miss Crawford.
Sure was. Yeah, because Alana sang it. So, no, Girls Ensemble, I forgot what we did, but we did something secular. And then he even had us do a segment getting to me branching outside of just gospel music. He had me do Eveline. I don't know if you remember that from The Wiz.
Yes.
Don't nobody bring
Yes.
no
Remember,
news.
and you know who I still, people still asking me to put together a production for The Wiz. I said, well, I got one part.
And I was I'm going to tell y'all, first of all, I was offended because we can be real and honest on here, right?
Man, don't you do this tonight. Don't you do this
I
tonight.
was offended because Eveline is this big, fat black lady.
First of all, you fat and black.
Period. But I was like, okay, so I got to do Eveline because I'm a chunky plus size girl. Like, that ain't cool. And then
Forget
she
the
sang,
vocals though.
but still, even she was growling and singing hard. Oh! And so I was offended, like, okay, well, I can't have a soft, sultry
Why I can't be
song.
sexy?
Yeah, like, why I gotta sing this? But again, when I tell you it challenged me because the parts in that song, when you dissect them,
Yes.
you gotta be a singer. Yeah, you have to be a singer to do it. And the fact that he trusted me enough to break down and dissect all of those parts and do it. And this is not an arrogant statement, but I did it. Even being a sophomore, I did it.
Smacked it too. That's why I wanted to
It's
talk
like,
about it.
you know, it was just like, okay, I can get used to this. Then I start thinking, okay, I could do Broadway possibly. Dreamgirls.
Still
like,
can.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not say the sky is the limit. I always say there is no limit.
Well, here's the thing. Here's something that you didn't know. I brought that up because specifically I know you know that The Wiz is my favorite movie. So guess what one of my favorite top 3 Tiffanie moments was when you did that.
Wow.
I might have said one. Because I love the Wiz have impacted me so much. I still make movies off the movies. I still make money off the arrangements from the Wiz. You know how everybody be coming to work with me? Oh yeah. I'll listen to one of them harmonies. Oh yeah, put this right in your song.
Absolutely.
And I'm still making money from it right now.
And that moment developed a whole new love for me, for the Wiz. Like, even to this day, I can sit and watch it from top to bottom.
From top to bottom, I know every word.
Because I was always in love with The Wizard of Oz, but I never really sat down and really paid attention to the Wiz until it was time for me to do that song.
So it's time for us to jump to senior year. Because this year, senior year to me, changed everything. So now we're going to go right to, even with all the skipping.
I was going to say senior year, it was a lot of in and out for me.
Yeah, it
lot.
was. I
And
was
this
very
is-
hard on you that year.
This is what's crazy. I don't care what class I didn't make it to in high school. I always made it to choir.
Yes, bro.
Half
was
the
used to
time
be
I
so
skipped in
mad,
choir.
bro.
But that year and my junior year, I started skipping choir. I lost interest. And again, that's because I started attaching myself to people that really wasn't going the same way or wasn't pushing me to do what I love to do. And again, there was personal issues going on at home that I felt like affected my schooling and, well, I'll say my mentality about life.
Yeah.
About school. And at that point it was, I don't really need this. I can go work, make my money, and I'm going to be cool.
And let's just be real. Because I'm going to be real. At that time, we were really, really close. And so I was on you real heavy at the time. It was all about getting out. It was just all about, for real. And the thing was, so I stopped caring about music as much. And that brought us together. But I was just like, dude, you got to come. You got to get yourself together because I'm going to school. Like, and I want you to come. Remember? Like, I used to be like, man, we got to go. We got to get out of here.
And my out of here, to me, my outlet was music. That and I still live by that today. Yes.
However, we were supposed to leave. We were supposed to go. So now I'm going to cut you off. We're going to go right to prom.
No, we're not.
What?
Next.
What?
Next.
No. Oh, Jesse, you want to talk? Oh, no. Why we got to skip that?
Next.
No. We going to stay here. Who was your prom date, young lady?
Do they still do prom, like the adult prom, how they used to do it back at, like, I think like last year?
No, they do not.
They don't do that anymore? 'Cause
Nobody
I
has
need
been.
I need a redo.
Nobody had a successful one.
I'm serious, Jesse laughing. I need a redo.
Whoa.
First of all, I
what
had
was
on
wrong with
this-
what was wrong with your prom date?
First of all, I had on this very churchy.
It
set.
was so churchy.
Like, I was so churchy, y'all. It was the worst.
Bro,
it was like
we
I was
both
a
was-
mother on the motherboard.
Bro, we were saved.
Outfit. Like, I don't
Who
even-
was your prom date, Tiffanie?
Let's talk about this prom date. This was probably the worst prom date
Whoa, maybe we need to
anybody could
skip.
ever have.
Maybe we need to skip this part there. You just gloss over this.
His name was Shannon McIntyre.
That's me. That's me, ladies and gentlemen.
He was my prom date. Let me tell y'all something. We walked into prom. I'm not lying. And we didn't see each other no more until prom was over. I don't think we danced with each
She's
other.
lying. This is why. Jesse, don't make that face. Don't you look at me. Don't you look at me like that, Jesse. This is not my fault.
So disappointing.
Thank you, Jesse.
No,
Thank
this
you.
is not my fault.
Thank
We won't
you.
be blaming Shannon for
This
Shannon
is
for
why
this.
I said I need a redo.
No. And I'm gonna take you again.
No.
This is what happened, guys. I want to tell y'all this because she does this. First of all, Tiffanie has a book. Tiffanie has a book or had a book with my picture in it with the caption, worst prom date ever.
Okay, and y'all want to know what the picture was? The picture was at his grandmother's house on Hawthorne with both
Shout out to
me
Hawthorne.
and him. I cut me out of the picture, and I just put the picture in the book just by himself.
Because she hated her outfit. It was not my fault. That's number one. Number two, I was not a horrible prom date. Tiffanie ain't the Tiffany that she is now and want to move. Tiffany, she talk about, I don't know, we dance, we ain't seen each other. That's not true. Tiffany, my dog, I had to come to Tiffany like 7. Y'all think I'm full of energy now. Can y'all imagine the half my age energy?
Yeah, he was just all over the place.
I was just a fireball, bro. Like, I could not get Tiffany to dance. I'm like, you know all of these hustles. We done did all of these before. You better get up and at least do a hustle.
I was so church.
She's like, no.
Like, to the point where I felt like if I danced to that, I was going in. No, I take that back. It wasn't that. I just
I don't think you like your shoes.
I didn't like anything I had on. And I hope my mother listens to this. I want to tell her to
do this to my mama.
I hated everything that I wore. It
Mama?
was like I was like a boutique.
Mama, I didn't tell her that. I didn't tell her. You was like, what? Say it again.
A boutique fashion model. Like I came straight out of Henry Jewelry. Ooh, I mean, not like that, but like.
Oh, it's too late. It's too late. Who picked your outfit out?
I think my mama.
You hear that, mama? It
I
wasn't
think
me.
my mama. But again, it wasn't that, okay, I thought if I danced, I was going to hell. It was always, I felt like if people see me in that light, they wouldn't respect the anointing on my life, or they wouldn't respect the fact that they saw me in church singing. Because people are so cruel to the point where if
Especially
you
when
make
we
one
was young.
mistake, even
When we
now,
was young.
if you make one mistake, they want to say all of a sudden like you ain't real or you ain't this, and it's like,
You know why? 'Cause
let's
they
talk
been
about-
lying.
Period. Let's talk about the skeletons you done broke up and swept in your closet, and all they need to do is be glued back together.
And let me not get deep, but if had y'all been honest, or had y'all created a space where we can be honest that we are creating now
Period.
for other Christians, people will understand how to live a Christian
Period.
life. Because yes, y'all got us saved. Thank you. Y'all gave us structure. Thank you. But nobody really taught us how to live, because we had to learn it on our own.
And that it's
because
okay to have fun
Yeah.
and still love God. Like now, if my brothers and them, you already know, if y'all having something, I'm there.
We
Like if I
in there.
can be there, I'm there.
And I'm saved.
And period. It
I'm
don't take
still
away from
saved.
who I am, but it took me to grow and know God for myself and know the word for myself, to know that, okay, I can live and be happy and be free, but at the same time, I still uphold, what I sing about, the music that I sing about.
And so we're going to transition right here back to the music. So that Mayfest, I have to say, even though I didn't sing, I did a lot of other stuff for our sophomore year, and I hosted our senior year, because a lot of people knew I can sing.
I'm going to have to stop you. I didn't sing Mayfest senior year.
Yeah, you did, just on the
No,
girls
I didn't.
ensemble.
No, I didn't. That was junior year. I did not sing Mayfest senior year. And there's no shame to Miss Crawford.
Whoa. Wait.
I didn't sing. I said in the
Who
audience.
did you host?
I said in the audience.
Wait a minute.
That's the first year. I might have it backwards, but I believe that's the first year I failed choir.
I failed. No, I didn't fail choir. I think
I failed because I didn't do Mayfest.
because I know me, you, and Joseph was real heavy together then.
Exactly.
And me, you, and Joe was like, we too good for this.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just
Yes, we did,
no,
bro.
it wasn't.
I'm not gonna lie.
It was other issues, and
It was just a change.
was junior year.
The transition was tough. But I'm telling you, our senior year,
that was junior year. Senior year, I did.
senior
sing.
year, you sang because I hosted.
Yep, I did.
We
sing
talked about
senior
this
year.
on Tracy's podcast of how you and Alana and me basically was like, who are these people? He said it was like, who are these people I'm seeing, like, who look like real life stars?
Speaking of Tracy, all them years he went to school with us and could sing his butt off, Tracy never sang at school ever.
He was in that boys ensemble
But he
our
still didn't
sophomore
sing.
year.
But he still didn't sing.
No, not like
He
that.
didn't sing like that.
Uh-uh.
Anyway, shout out to my boy Tracy.
Shout out to the bro. So that.
Can we skip past high school?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to get to now.
Okay.
I was setting that up for now because all these years we sang together, I want to skip right to the impact of singing at Low Salem and them concerts. That changed everything for me.
Absolutely.
Changed everything for me.
Absolutely. You cannot, if you attended Low Salem, you cannot ever talk about music without talking about your experiences in that music department. Like, we had one of the greatest choirs in the city, if not the greatest choir in the city.
One of the greatest pastors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And so I did that all the way up until I was 18. 18, when I turned 18, that year is when I came out as a solo artist.
And what happened then?
And I did a coming out concert.
Yes, we did.
And that was the first time that I preview or premiered music that I had written and that others had written for me, all of that good stuff. Like, some of those songs I, to this day, I still do. Lord You Gave. That's actually on the album I released in 2013.
So crazy.
And the album I just released last year.
Put that on every album, as far as I'm concerned.
But it's other songs like, Lord, I Thank You. Stuff that I don't even sing anymore, that he allowed. And I wrote that song out of pain and struggle and all of that. And I might have to go back and redo that one.
Man, You Got It?
You Got It came 2013.
That came later. That was with Duke.
Nope, not even 2013. That came like 2008, maybe. That was my second concert at New Life.
Yeah.
When I was working with Tubby. Shout out to Calvin Frazier, Tub Young, who co-wrote You Got It with me, and he is a Grammy-nominated producer
talk about
and songwriter.
Talk about it.
Then Duke, James Jones, Courtney DeWhite, Black Smurf, who tours with almost everybody.
Who's also a Grammy-nominated producer.
And so this is the greatness that came from the city that people don't really discuss or talk about. And
I'm going to get them on here.
Yeah, absolutely, because
sure.
these guys have gone on to do great things, and they have not forgotten about us. Like, I can call them right now today, and anything I need musically, they're gonna be there.
Man,
and they were some of my
crazy.
biggest inspirations in Tiffanie being the solo artist, coming from the choir to Tiffanie being the solo artist. They really pushed me to have my own individuality.
So and that's what I wanted to talk about, because it's been transitions, right? Because it wasn't just going from everything was a transition. It was transitioning from choir to praise and worship to being in a group to leading a group in a matter of 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, like that fast.
That fast. It was.
That fast.
I remember sitting around thinking about, hey guys, I'm going to look in the camera and say this. I remember sitting around with my girl, thinking about an amazing name for her to come up with for her group. And guess what it was? Tiffanie Campbell Music Ministry. TCMM.
Absolutely.
Started it all, man. Like,
absolutely.
And I will sit here and say, you are one of the pioneers of that era, because along with H2O and 4HG, and then I can't think of the other group I knew better with Whit and Ashley and
I can't think of their name. And then you had Journey,
and I was about to say in Journey with Brittany and Brianna and everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, and then so you have, and I talked about that on a podcast before, and I wanted to ask you, because we felt like for the next generation, especially with what we was doing, we felt like we was gonna leave this city in good hands for the next up and coming gospel artist, because we set a stage that was so big, all somebody had to do was literally step in. And so I want to get your opinion on, what do you think happened where, and I might be wrong, but I don't see many up and coming new dynamic Christian gospel artists in our community, in our city. What do you think happened?
Inconsistency. Excuse me. Inconsistency. And I say that even with the people that came up before us. Like, you had so many great groups.
Yeah.
Jesse probably can remember Imani Project, First Creation.
Shout out to First Creation. I did
Period.
that. What's the name?
I mean, the gospel highlights. Let's go to the Brown singers at the time. They were Nikki D and the Browns, but they were the Brown singers. You had the Queens of Harmony.
His highest.
Brian Thomas. Huh?
His highest.
Yes, his high. Yes.
Yeah, this your time to shine, Jesse.
Yes.
Come on, get your mic on up.
And I can't think
Jesse
of the
know
group.
every group.
Do you remember the group? Tamara, Tana, Glover.
Enchantment.
Yes.
Look, I told you know every group.
See what I'm saying? Like, because
Jesse know every group.
Jesse, listen, he can witness. Pinewood used to have the greatest musicals. Period. Like anybody who thought they was somebody sang at a Pinewood, and the church wasn't even that big. But when I tell you, it would be people busting out of the seams because they were trying to get in to the musical.
And it was hot.
Absolutely. So you had all of these groups, but you know what happened? And you had young artists within these groups. I felt like the ones who had them, they didn't do what they needed to do to groom them and prepare them to take over the mantle.
Yeah.
To keep it going. So they lost interest because they didn't push, they didn't get out the way when it was time for them to get out the way and then push them. So that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to make the mistake of being a worship leader. Shout out to Canaan Manifested Word, Bishop Randall Parker.
Big bro.
Hold up Canaan because that's where I am now, because I won't move or I won't groom someone else to step up and take over when it's time for me to move on and do other things.
And it was like,
that becomes a hindrance. And then you have people with inside the church or with inside your ministries who have the potential and they have the hunger to do so, but they lose it because you have nobody grooming them and pushing them out front to say, go ahead and do it. We believe in you. So I feel like, and then let's go with inconsistency in the music as far as like the musicals and the activities that we used to have when we were younger.
Had everything.
That's null and void now. It's like pulling teeth and nails to get someone to come out to a musical service because we got bored and tired of the same thing over and over again. Again, they didn't pass the torch to any one of us to say, okay, this is how you do this.
This is how you do it. This is how you do it.
This is how you do this. I'm going to help you until you learn how to do it and do it consistently.
In safe hands.
So we can keep going.
Correct.
So again, our people lose interest. They find interest in other things.
Yes.
And they move away because they feel like I do better in Columbus. I do better in Cincinnati, or I do better in Atlanta.
Or don't nobody
because
support
they have more
me
to
here.
Exactly. They have more to offer. Let's start there. They have more to offer.
Let's go back here. Remember when you first started? See, I'm gonna really talk. See, I'm on people's head. When you first started, the support was great.
Absolutely.
But we gave it 1 year. It wasn't nothing but young people.
Yeah.
And that's not how you do it. If we had a dynamic young person that was doing some great things musically as a gospel artist here, I can guarantee. And we talking about young people, and we ain't talking about people who's super old. We talking about people our age who wasn't coming to support you.
But see,
who's our age now? When we was 20, 21.
And I'm going to be all the way real. It started out that way. It started out with the support from everybody of all ages. I had the old and the young.
Yep.
But this is what happens when you lose who you are and your identity, or you don't tap into your identity. I started tapping into other music that wasn't Tiffanie. It wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, I lost a great deal of my older ones because they were used to, again, they used to me singing, get your house in order.
Mm-hmm.
The churchy, I got a testimony, get excited, I got a reason, the hardcore churchy stuff. So then you come and see me, and I'm only giving something to our age or below.
Okay.
And I'm not
so
giving
that
them
makes
anything.
More sense.
So as you see now, Tiffanie Campbell just released the album, and I had people from the age of newborns all the way to the age of 60, and I have elderly people right now to this day. Some go to Perfecting, some come from St. James, and they say, I don't care what it is you're doing, call me, and I'm there. Why? Because I tapped into who I am as an artist, and now I can give you everything. I can give you the R&B feel, Christian alternative music. I can give you praise and worship. I can give something for the young people to bob their head and dance, and then I can go straight to the hymns.
Church me, please.
Because I had to tap into, even with my first album, me and RC were really young. So again, I felt like I kind of conformed to what he felt like I should have done. Not saying he didn't give me room to be creative, because he definitely did. But I wanted to please him, and I wanted to conform to his style of music and become something that I wasn't. And so to me, the album was, anybody tell you, for it to be my first album, my freshman album, it was good for that time.
First albums are tough.
It is.
First albums
It is. It
tough.
make you not even want to go back and listen. Right. But it also teaches you, and it shows you the growth.
Show you growth. I love it. I love it.
Because now this album that we tapped into, when I tell you, it has RC on it, but you could also hear Tiffanie definitely had a lot to say and what was going on. And you could tell the music that he produced was me. Because it wasn't hard for me to go in there and sing it.
Fun fact, that's the first album I put on my phone. I downloaded. I didn't even have iTunes. I bought iTunes so I can go get that album.
Wow. That's what's up.
That's a fun fact.
That's what's up.
Just because, and it's crazy because I'm almost like the third pair of ears because of what I do. Like, as a producer on how I do and a singer how I do, I said, bro, here's do to tell you. He's like, man, come make sure it's no, I want to be a fan. You got it. You got it? You got it. I'm like, I want to be a fan, bro. So I ain't gonna lie, I snuck in her a little bit because I couldn't, I was itching. So I snuck in her a little bit. And he sent me tailor-made, like, before everything was, like, finished. Then he sent me the finished product. I said, this is the one. Like, those are the only words I text. This is the one.
Man,
but in the time, and that's what I want to transition to now as being an artist, talk to the young people about the difference between hitting the stage and hitting the studio. How hard was the transition? Because we come from a place where you sing hard and you sing hard for a long time, and that will be to your detriment in the studio.
Fun fact for Tiffanie, I hate the studio.
Yes, she does.
I hate one, because if you want to know how great of a singer or how horrible of a singer you are,
We'll find out.
go to the studio and put on them earphones and get in that mic and think you're killing. And you hear your playback and you like, I hope I don't sound like this on stage in real life, because it tells the truth. But at the same time, I love it because it sharpens your ear. It sharpens you.
Yeah.
When I first started out in the studio, I was very timid. Even let's go back to when I first did Lord You Gave with James and Tubby and them.
Yeah.
And Shelly and them. I was so intimidated because Shelly is somebody's singer. And so I just felt like having her and Rio, shout out to them doing the background.
Shout out to Young Queen, Daishelle Parker, my Young King Rio, who doesn't do anything anymore. That's another story.
But I felt like I had to be perfect because I feel like their vocals were amazing.
Hold on, because I was here too. I was there in the whole session. Shout out to Duke, who did backgrounds too. Oh, You Got It. Yes.
He definitely did on You Got It. He definitely did. Oh, don't nobody know that. He definitely did.
Fun facts.
But again, I wasn't comfortable because that was my first time in the studio. So I felt like I had to be something different than what I was on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the total opposite. It's like what you bring on stage, you definitely need to bring in the studio because you want to be able to produce in the studio what you produce live. Yeah. One thing you don't want people to say is, I either rather hear her live or I rather hear her studio records. Mm-hmm. And this album is what I wanted to, because I had a whole lot of people, mentors, that even say when they listened to my first album, and even I did Third Generation. We put out an album. Yeah. And even listening to that, they were like, you don't give in the studio what you give live. And so I had an issue with that because I never want to be that artist that, I can go hard live, but then you get my album, you throw my album out, you know what I mean? Throw it out the window because it sounds like trash. So this album, I was determined to go in, and I was determined to show them the same Tiffanie on stage. Now, I didn't give everything that I give on stage because you got to leave something to the imagination. I need you to still come see my show and still be like, oh, wow. But at the same time, I still gave you a glimpse of what you would get when I'm on stage.
So what did you learn from being in the group 3G?
Definitely patience.
That's number one. Sorry, ladies. But I'm not.
Definitely
Sorry.
patience. And then also me as an artist.
Yes.
Me. I learned me. I learned to separate Tiffanie from third generation.
I actually think, and what my eyes tell me, it made that third generation, and you still with them. Shout out to 3G, the greatest people that you could just go see live. Trust me.
Period.
It showed me is that it's almost like you had an moment, like okay,
Absolutely.
like okay.
Absolutely.
So this is who I am.
Absolutely.
Like I'm really not cool right here, but I'm really cool here, and you can literally see it in the music. I was around in that process, hearing it in that process of recording with 3G. So it was crazy.
I'm about to cut you off. 3G, being with 3G made me comfortable in being me.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
That's what I mean. Like the moment, like
Yep, it made me, especially singing because quartet is my root, but it also allowed me, the swing of quartet now allowed Tiffanie to put the praise and worship side in or the contemporary side in, so I was comfortable.
They weren't
being
speaking in
me.
tongues when we was coming up.
Period. Or doing the worship music.
No.
3G made me comfortable with being on the stage. It definitely made me comfortable with being on the stage. And my dad told me, he gave me a nugget a long time ago. And he said, either two things going to happen when you hit the stage. You either going to sink or you going to swim. So he said, if you sink enough times, you'll teach yourself how to swim.
So
and that's exactly what happened.
Let's talk about that. Okay.
Rest in peace to my hero.
If you don't know, he always accepted me as his son and all of that, for those who don't know. But what people don't know, I'm a quartet baby as well. We both quartet babies, our dads and all of that. Yada, 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 smackety. But Tiffanie, no. I don't care if you signed or unsigned. That boy, Robert Campbell, is my favorite quartet singer, dead or alive.
Listen.
Period.
He taught me everything I know.
Now, the question is, because I know, but I want people to understand and get this for those who may have went through this, because I know I talked to a dude about it, and I know how close you is to mom, but I know how much of a daddy's girl
Absolutely.
you are.
Absolutely.
Sorry. It happens. Talk about the impact, because for those who don't know, Tiffany's album was a tribute to that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So talk about the impact of him passing, how you grew from it, how you worked through it, and how you deal with it today.
How I grew from it. Let me talk about how I got or am going through it. Music. I feel like the worst thing I could do at this point is drop the ball, because this is what he would have been doing. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like when he passed, I'll go on to say when he passed, it was, to me, and I've heard it from others, vocally, stage presence, it was something else that happened with Tiffanie.
I told you.
It was a change. It was a shift. Like, now I sang before, but it's just like I feel like a part of him, or almost all of him, he really passed that mantle down to me.
Yeah.
And
like the next 3 times I seen you
took it
sing.
and ran with it. Like, even to sing at his funeral and be able to get through it. Mm-hmm. Like, I just felt like it was him, because it's like he wouldn't have had it no other way. Yeah. And so the impact, if you listen to the album, you could tell the impact. There's some moments I sound like my mother. There's some moments I sound like my grandmother, Lavola Whitaker, rest in peace.
The GOAT.
Who was, period, in Toledo. And then there's times where I'll squall or I'll do something and it's like, oh my gosh.
That's all, man.
It's my dad. My stage presence, as far as quartet, is my dad to the T. And it took for him to pass for me to see that.
Yeah.
Because at first I really didn't see any similarities.
Not me. I used to be on it.
So now it's like, it's a lot of stuff that I do. I say, okay, I see my dad, I hear my dad. But even growing up, I used to always say I should have been my dad's boy. Because growing up, Stephanie didn't sing and wasn't into music like that. So when he was with the Gospel Highlights, I was sitting on Islington on the stairs at
Shout out to my granny.
Granny Stiegel and Deacon Stiegel's house while she's cooking greens. And they're rehearsing. And I was sitting right there on the steps watching their entire rehearsal. When they would travel, Dayton, I don't care if they was going to the Quartet Union, I was right there, literally watching.
The Quartet Union was funny.
Right, but it was like, back then, that was
our thing.
Was the life.
That was our thing.
And so that I watched that growing up, and I took from that a whole lot that I see now that I didn't realize I took from it when I was younger. It taught me a whole lot. How am I dealing with it now? Music. There's still moments. I have crying moments. I break down. I think about something because I say all the time, especially we're on our way to Charlotte tomorrow to sing. In the midst of a pandemic, we're going to be safe, but that's a blessing to be able to be moving in the midst of this stuff. So we're on our way to Charlotte tomorrow because we have to sing the weekend. My dad, even on dialysis, would have told my mom so many times, y'all find me a dialysis center, I'm going with the girls.
Yep.
And he would have been on the road with me, especially the shows where the tour we did with Harvey Watkins, people that I grew up listening to, Doc McKenzie, those programs and stuff, those were my dad's home, that
was his homie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
to be able to see me do that and develop a relationship with those people that he had me listening to when I was younger, I felt like would have been just amazing to him, for him to see. So sometimes I get sad because I feel like he's not here to witness it. But then I know that, it's another part of me that God did what he needed to do to push me to be where I am today.
It was something in him like that was just different anyway. Whatever he said that you was, it kind of ended up manifesting. If you think about what he said about the little brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you think about what he even said about me, like, bro, when you gonna just be okay to lead and not be like everybody else. It took me forever. It took me to 34.
He could be rude with it. He could be one of the rudest people, but he meant it out of love.
He always he
was just straightforward, and I see a lot of that
in
me, especially the older I get.
This is the usher who wanted to be rude. This is the person who wanted to be an usher to be rude.
I'm nowhere as near as rude as RC.
Oh no.
Like, RC has adapted a lot of my father in that aspect of just being straightforward.
Wait till we do our podcast.
He means it out of love. Like, he's even hard on me if I do something in the studio and he be like, that's whack.
He sounds just like, man.
Like, yep, he'll turn around like, what are you doing? But that's my cue to like get it together. So speaking about Taylor Made,
let's talk about this. This is what I've been waiting on.
We're getting ready to premiere a video with Taylor Made.
Do we have a date set?
I talked to him yesterday, and I think he was going to call and talk to the guy today to see if we can get it out. I think before the month is out. I want to say before the month is out.
Okay, good. And for the record, it's August. So that means it will be out mid to late August. Well, it's mid-August now.
Right, so late
August.
At the latest.
Expecting it. It's late August.
I may keep it. I may drop it. I'll be 35 in September.
I was dang. You ruined my next thing. How old you go? You telling your real age? Tiffanie go by. Listen, she goes by fives. She was 30 from 30 to 34. She'll be 35 till she's 40.
Yep, definitely.
September 21st.
I was 25 until I was 30.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I may just wait and drop it around my birthday as a birthday celebration since it's not much we can do. Actually, I take that back. I got to sing.
Yeah, dog.
Out of town.
Yeah, we going to drop that this month.
So, yeah. We're going to be looking forward. We have merchandise. We have shirts, water bottles. All of that will be available, but I want to wait until you guys see the video and tap into the song. And that song.
It is life-changing.
It is. And the reason why I love that song so much because a lot of times we feel like we have to do what someone else is doing to get what we want or what we desire. And honestly, if you just be you, everything that's for you, God knew it before this earth was even formed.
Yes.
So everything that is for you will be for you. You don't have to be me. I don't have to be you. You don't have to change who you are. If it was meant, if he spoke it and it's meant for you, it will be for you. It's tailor-made just for you, meaning I can get it all day long, but I can't keep it because it wasn't for me.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because this is something I don't know, because I like I said, I was being a fan. I know RC wrote the song majority of it. You wrote it too with him, or he just wrote the whole
We
thing?
collabed on it.
Okay, so y'all collabed,
especially on the end.
So okay, on the end. But when you heard the beginning, what was your interpretation? Because I want to tell you my interpretation. What was your interpretation when you first heard
When
it?
he first sent me the song, to be quite honest, and I don't think he even knows this, I was in tears. Because he'd say he's not a singer, but he sent me the song with his vocals on there referencing. So
Was he hitting them harmonies?
Yep, for real.
I know.
And so it was like, I don't know if it spoke to my spirit as soon as I heard the words, because it's like I was in the process of making this album, and then it's like this album is going to be tailor-made to push my career. That's how I felt. Like,
well,
and
it
it
worked.
has done just that.
It worked.
It has done just that. And I'm going to tell you, this will answer your question. Honestly, I recorded Tailor Made in one take. I have never done that. I promise you. He hit record, and this is how much I listened to the song, and it leaped into my spirit. When he hit record,
How I get there? How I get in your spirit?
it leaped. Huh? Come on. What Chris Bird say? Leap. It like literally, like it didn't ease nothing. It just leaped for real. And so when he hit record, he let me go for it. And when he got done, he was like, y'all know his mouth, but he was like, we done.
Yeah.
And the only thing I had to do was go back in and just clean up some stuff, because I was just such in the flow of things.
Yeah.
It was like a live set. And so all I did literally was went back in the studio and cleaned up some phrases and stuff that I was caught in the moment. So it may have not conveyed in the studio like it conveyed to me while I was singing it.
You know what's so here's my interpretation. As soon as I heard this song, I'm like, this ain't got, I'm like, this is better than everything. So everybody who's listening to it is going to look at it like, if you let it work on you the right way, I'm better than everything, to the point where whatever is mine, it wasn't made for anybody else.
Okay, so
it was like
an
arrogant
of arrogancy.
Yeah, being arrogant, like literally, like this mine.
Yeah.
Can't nobody come take this.
Period.
I don't have to work for it.
Period.
It's mine.
Period.
Like, I don't know why it gave me and I don't want to say arrogance, but a certain kind of confidence that say, listen, what you do is what you do. So here's the thing. I was thinking about this on the drive.
You can't be me and I can't be you.
Yeah, I was thinking about this on the drive here. Like, man, when I'm in the studio, what am I going to talk to somebody I've known for 28 years about? And one of the things that kind of God gave me is like, well, just look at it like this. When you're in the studio with all these singers who sing better than you, but they have no clue how you doing what you do, that's what you talk to her about. I knew what God meant when it's like that, because it's like, it's just going to be some stuff that you're not going to understand.
Absolutely.
And even though you may feel inferior in some places, God has you how you are for a reason. So when I was thinking about Tailor Made, because for whatever reason my brain just molded y'all two together for the interview and the song, that's what it meant. Like, it's almost like, you ain't got no kids yet, but it's almost like but you got kids. You don't treat your nephews and your nieces all the same. Everybody requires a certain kind of discipline.
I got a different relationship with all of them.
Yes. It's so Tailor Made to me is about sonship and daughtership with God.
Absolutely.
That's what Tailor Made is all about. Like, however I deal with you as your how mama deal with you, she can't do certain stuff with with Robin like that.
Absolutely.
She can't say how she deal with Robin. Some stuff you can't handle that she be doing with Robin.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's just how it is. So we have the supreme parent God who gave dude a song like that. That boy was writing out of his mind.
Period.
He was writing out of his mind, bro. And sometimes you're a writer, so you know sometimes you'll get a record where you just writing outside of yourself.
Period. And to be able to know that I'm writing this record, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
Like the words, it ministers to him, but to know like it wasn't meant for him to sing it. You see what I'm going with Taylor Made?
Yes.
It wasn't meant. I feel like it was conveyed the way it was conveyed because he gave it to the right person. And that's not in an arrogant way. I'm not saying that in arrogance.
No. That's actually perfect.
He just gave it to, it was
He
tailor-made
it. He tailor-made the song and the music for him to write.
Now, can I hear other people singing it
No.
all the time? All the time, my mom say, I could really hear Tasha Cobbs really singing this song. No, I say Tasha Cobbs, she say Jacqueline Carr. And I be thinking like, I could hear them possibly taking it and blowing it up.
You know who I want to hear do it? It's a Cardi.
But at the same time, it won't have the same effect.
It will not have the same effect. It's
because I feel like it was tailored, it was penned just for me.
And it's not really praise and worshipy. I mean, you can praise and worship to it.
I just feel like it's like an alternative.
It's just like an alternative record.
Yeah, just rock hard and it's inspirational.
So you can go do it at Cedar Creek.
Absolutely.
I would.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Plug.
I
Cornerstone.
Like, this is how I feel about that song. I feel like that's one of those songs like Never Would Have Made It. You could sing it, definitely sing it in the club, and people wouldn't even feel like, I'm disrespecting God in a sense.
Until the end. When you slip your hand. Huh? When it's time to slip your hand.
At the same time, it's such an inspirational song that their hands would be up before because it's like I'm witnessing to this is for me.
Well,
outside of what I'm going through, outside of whatever or what I've been through, it's made for me.
Here's the question, and I'm trying to keep these interviews to a
man. Because I feel like I've just been talking forever.
No. So I got a question. Is your goal to ever transition? Is to ever transition over to where people who won't ever touch church? Because I know you kind of hood, and we got friends who won't ever come to church.
That's why.
But they'll buy your album. You feel what I'm saying? Has that ever been one of your main goals? That's literally my main goal as an artist now.
I wouldn't say that it's a goal because it's something that I practice every day. Although I sing gospel music, it is nothing for my friends that I went to Scott Robinson or they gonna buy it just because it's Tiffanie. But you know why they gonna buy it because it's Tiffanie? Because I can talk to them or laugh at a post with them on Facebook. I'm still personable. It's not, I'm up here because I sing gospel music or I'm a gospel artist and because you don't go to church, you're beneath me. No, I still relate to them. And that's why, to me, that's what make me different. That's what set me apart.
Fun fact, America, Tiffany best friends, some of her best friends coming up, and I will not say the names.
Why?
Were drug dealers. No, because they my brothers. Not blue. Everybody know who my blood brother is, but her other best friends, straight drug dealers.
But this is the thing, though. They ain't
gonna know. They ain't gonna find no pictures of us or nothing. They ain't gonna never know who we talking about. But
period. Some might though, because I'm still friends with him on there. And then all of my best friends has been guys. That's the thing. Most of them, Brianna Crawford, Afia Williams, are probably the two females that last the longest. But all of my best friends are males. But they never ever impressed their life upon me, and I never forced my life on them. If they would ask me about church or about questions or whatever, I had no problem talking to that. Now, don't get it twisted. It wasn't to the point where it was even to the point they would respect me enough not to smoke around me, not to
That's crazy.
drink around me or whatever. And it was like we still had a good time. Even though I didn't do what they do and they really didn't do we still had a good time. And I believe that's what makes me me. And that's why my audience is so broad because Again, if I see something funny on Facebook, whether it got a cuss word or something in it, if it's funny to me, I'm going to laugh at it and I'll comment like, that's crazy, or I felt that, or whatever.
Hell,
you got a lot
too.
of artists. You got a lot of artists talking about that transparency that won't do that because they feel like it's beneath them or whatever. But these people are who buying my album. This is who's keeping me relevant.
And these are the people who need it more than your save butt.
Exactly. Like, if you already saved and you already doing what you're supposed to be doing in the church, actually,
let this encourage you.
We can be cool, but it's like I'm supposed to be winning these people that are not over here. I'm supposed to be drawing them to my side, doing what I'm doing. If you already supposed to be over there, you supposed to be helping me draw them, not turning your nose down at them.
It's in this word. So look, this has been the 419 Grind podcast. I do want to ask you, do you have any new projects coming out? Because I don't even know this.
Actually, RC just sent me a song.
A whole song?
A whole song.
He wrote it?
Yep. And
I've been kind of on him too.
I'm getting ready to, he sent it to me to rearrange and do all of that other stuff. So we were supposed to go in yesterday and record it, but now that I'm working all of these jobs, because I still believe in the bag,
Lord,
it was kind of hard for us to do so. But yep, we're actually working on that. I have some people from Chicago submitting music. Shout out to them. I have a young man from Dayton, Ohio that's submitting music, and this is for Legacy Project Volume 2.
Oh, that's fire. I'm on here. I need to at least rap.
And it's not going to be, like, we did a lot of traditional stuff and changed it and made it up to date. This one is going to be, like, totally everything you can think of. I'm even thinking about rapping on a song.
Whoa. Well, you are a hip-hop head, though.
So, I don't know if you remember, Jesus wants to be.
I was just about to ask, what song?
I'm going all the way back to 2003 when I first came out as an artist and pulled those songs.
Jesus love you.
And so, yeah, I might get my rap on since this guy on live said I look like Missy Elliott. That was so random.
You and Maisha?
But whatever.
Shout out to your twin. So, look, guys, this has been the legendary
social media.
Well,
how can people find her on social
First of all, thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
So we don't want to skip out on the important things like social media. How can they find you on your Facebook?
I'll give my Facebook. Don't follow me on Snapchat. No, I'm just playing.
I'm screaming.
Snapchat is not for the saved. No, I'm just playing, y'all.
She not. I'm her. We follow each other on Snapchat, and she don't need to be doing that.
No, I don't. But if you like super
talking.
Deep or whatever, don't follow me on Snapchat.
She don't be doing nothing.
No, I'm just playing. But Facebook, Tiffanie Campbell, TIFFANIE.
A-N-I-E.
If you put in the Y, you will not find me. ANIE. I am subscribed to YouTube. Tiffanie Campbell. TIFFANIECAMPBELL, like the soup. Also on Instagram, I believe it's Tiff R Campbell 3G.
It is Tiff R Campbell. Yep.
Tiff R Campbell 3G. I have 3G at the back of it, so you'll know it's me. What else am I on?
Snap. What's your Snap?
I don't know my Snapchat. I really don't, y'all. Just if you find me on Facebook, then just hit me up and I'll give you my Snapchat code. I don't really know what it is. Other than that, I have music on Apple, iTunes, Spotify. It's on all digital outlets. Download it.
Type in Tiffanie Campbell,
The Legacy
Project. You'll be. What's the next couple cities you'll be in?
I'm doing Charlotte this week. I just came back I did Chicago a few weeks ago. Charlotte this weekend. A few weekends I'll be in Dayton, and then next Sunday I'll be outside at Mount Pilgrim's. They're having an outside festival, and I'm doing a whole set.
August 30th, everybody.
August 30th. That's a Sunday. Bring your lawn chairs. It's social distancing. It's
Yes,
outside,
it's
so
gonna be
you can
safe.
spread out. They have food vendors. They have all of that.
Clothing vendors.
I'm gonna be out there
My brother and
vending.
them gonna be out there vending. Tiffany gonna have her stuff on deck to be purchased, hopefully.
And it's from, God, I know my time is 4 p.m. to sing, but I believe the singing part of it starts from 1 until 6. I could be lying. Check it out. It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
But be there August 30th.
All right. Everything is all good. All minds are clear. This is a 419 podcast, 419 Grind podcast. I am Shan Digg.
Toledo, rep your city. Visit us online at the419grind.com.